Thank you very much for joining us on Bloomberg Television. It's terrific to have you back.
Glad to be back with you.
Let's start with the economic momentum in the last 6 to 9 months. Clearly, it's been slowing globally from China to Europe. How is the year shaping up for you?
I think we started in a good way, and I think our model have been really trying to be very diversified. So if we have an areas or sector that are slowing down, we are busy in many other sectors. So really, we did not feel that there is slowness. We felt some competition. People are competing in the sector that we're working on it, but I think there's still a lot of opportunities there. I'm very positive.
So you're feeling it's going to be a better year, 2019, than 2018?
For Mumtalakat, yes. I'm confident it will be a better year.
How does that leave you with appetite for new investments? I mean, how much dry powder do you have, and how much are you willing to deploy over the next 12 months?
Well, the way we do it is we look at a lot of investment opportunities. Let me tell you, average over a year, we look at 300 business opportunities. The one that goes through our net is 1% to 2%. So really, very, very careful. There's a lot of study done. There's a lot of filtering done until we are sure which one we want to do. So we don't go by number, we go by the one that we believe in it, and the fundamental is very solid. We do a lot of research on these sectors to find out, is it the right sector or not?
So how much financial muscle can you bring to bear in any new investment?
Well, I think, our answer have been always, financial have not been a problem for us. We've always been up there looking for opportunities. Our financial ability have never stopped us taking any opportunity that was good. We have the support of the board in that angle.
And which countries are you focusing on primarily for some of those new investments? What's looking interesting to you?
I think rather than countries, I'll tell you it's which economies we look at it. We look at areas that we think there is growth, that there is corporate governance, that there is transparency. Mm-hmm. And if our history talks about it, it has been Europe, US, that area. Asia is a very interesting area as well to look into it. We are keen about it. But our history shows that we have expanded into Europe. We used to have zero in Europe. It's 28% now. We used to have no investment in the US. It's 8%. And having said that, we've been investing heavily in GCC and Bahrain. Over the past 10 years, we have invested $2 billion in Bahrain. So we've been heavy investor in our local economy as well, which is very promising.
What about Brexit? How much of a problem has that been for you in terms of looking for opportunities in the UK?
Well, one of the biggest investment we have in Europe is McLaren in UK. And I think the investment is adjusting to the Brexit. And I think there will be an effect, but you need to really find solution for it. Life goes on.
What are your plans to develop McLaren and to grow McLaren?
Well, I think we have a lot of plans. McLaren, people know McLaren of the racing team. Fewer people know McLaren of the racing car. But very few people know about McLaren applied technology. So these are the three elements that we are trying to develop. McLaren applied technology is a very important part of the company. It does a lot of applied research that we hope we're pushing or investing into, pushing it into the real life so people can see it in a bigger way. The motor car itself is a success. Everybody knows about it. I don't think I need to make any promotion about it.
The supercars, I've seen sales that are solid. You look at what Ferrari's done, they beefed up their sales and then they ultimately went public. When is an IPO going to come into play? Because we've been speaking for a few years, and in general you're open to an IPO. You've never taken it off the table. But at this point, is it getting pushed further and further back?
Well, we're getting ready for it, but we will do it when we think the right time it is. Financially and commercially, when it is the right time. It's not being ruled out. It's something that we are ready for it. I think we have to prepare for it, because one thing is when you prepare yourself for IPO, that means you're applying the best corporate governance and best practices. That is a good thing in itself. That we are ready for it. The timing is when we think it's the right time, we go. We have no rush to leave McLaren. We are happy investor in McLaren.
So it's not that you have a fixed year like 2020 or 2021 or even a range, 2022 maybe?
No, frankly
No,
no.
not at all. Okay. Let's talk about GEMS. You're an investor in the private school operator with Blackstone and Fisher Private Equity Groups. How close is that to an IPO?
I think, usually when we want to do IPO, we really announce about it. And we made an announcement about it. When it is in the working, we don't talk about it. So really, it's these things you have to really be ready, get all the approval, and then make the announcement. It is like more than speculation that I don't want to go into.
Of course, yeah. So in general, are you looking at more exits then in your investments, either domestically or internationally, or are you looking to hold, or is it just on an sort of opportunistically? Because you could make the argument that financial markets in general are not ready for listing. We saw this with some of the entities being listed out of the UAE and out of Saudi Arabia, so that everything is basically on hold until the situation improves.
We see Mumtalakat, we're a long-term investor. We do look at what are the exit opportunities, but that's not what we go in. We are a sovereign wealth fund, we are there, and that's the comfort we give to a lot of companies that we partner with. They like us, they love us because we don't have an exit timing. If they have a plan to do it, we have a patience to let the management develop the plan and get the fruit of the plan. We don't have a fixed 2 or 3 year time, and that's what differentiates between us and the private equity firms, that they need to exit regardless of how the business is doing. We have more stomach, we have more breath to wait and see the reward and the fruit of the development.
You raised a substantial amount of money recently in a bond issuance. Any further issuances planned at this point?
I think what we did is we just issued our bond issue, and that was to refinance upcoming repayment due maturities. We don't have any plan to increase our borrowing. We are very comfortable with the borrowing amount we have. We think it's a reasonable amount. There is absolutely no intention to increase that one. And I think we have all the means to enable us to do whatever investment we find to be suitable for us.
I want to focus in on the domestic story a little bit. We just had the Gulf bailout to the tune of $10 billion for Bahrain. There are some significant reforms underway. What role is Mumtalakat playing in that reform story as the country opens a new page?
I think we have been playing a role, and we will continue to do it. We are the investment arm for the country. Alba Line 6 expansion just came online beginning of this year. People, when we talk about Line 6, they don't realize that Alba is increasing their capacity from almost 1 million ton to 1.5 million ton. That's a 50% increase in capacity. That will create a lot of jobs and create a lot of activities in the economy. It's going to open a lot of opportunities for downstream industries in Bahrain. We made a couple of investments with the international partner in Bahrain. Last year we opened McLaren International. That was chose to be in Bahrain to serve the GCC market. Last year we did a couple of local companies that we sort of took over. Adhan, boat group, very well-known boat group that we came in, and the company is really active again. We started Danat. Danat is the pair testing center and sort of training center. It is really to bring Bahrain back into areas that they have been very well known. Mm-hmm. So we are working in many parts of the economies, really try to be the boost in the economy. Education sector, there will be some announcement made in Bahrain as well. We are very active. We look at the sector that we think fundamentally there is a potential for growth, and it will touch people's life positively.
Where does Gulf Air fit into this new vision? How satisfied are you with the progress that's been made in restructuring the company?
I think usually if you are satisfied, you stopped. We're never satisfied. But have Gulf Air achieved a lot? Yes. I think I give them credit that they have restructured the airline a lot. Airline is now much better airline than it used to be. The service is much better. The fleet is a new fleet that people are really happy with it. Today, Gulf Air is serving the Bahrain economy. And I think that is very important. Today, it is the bridge that links Bahrain to the rest of the world. And that tells me it is something that is a must-have for the economy to continue. We are a service economy. We work in all the region, not only in the Bahrain market. You need to have the means to go and come back. It's part of the economy that is needed. And I think the improvement that's happening there is continuing. We're very supportive of Gulf Air.